Hell yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
As New Orleans as coffee in the morning and as New Orleans as coffee in the morning and raw oysters for lunch. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground.
Welcome back. Young's Dry Cleaning since 1940. That's 85 years of excellence. Want to experience the best? Young'sDryCleaning.com. Young'sDryCleaning.com. Hey, Dan, before you go off on the USAID, I mean, where can we cut money so far? Is there something you disagree with that we've talked about so far? It seems like we're in agreement on everything. I'm sorry. You there, Dan? Uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry, Corey. I just teed up the ones that I thought would be pretty much no-brainers.
Oh, gotcha. First. I gotcha.
Yeah, so, again, for anybody just joining, I think the purpose that I wanted to try to do today was everybody's got a cause. I was watching a hearing the other day where it was about becoming carbon neutral by 2050, and then you look at these protests and everybody's got a cause. And if you look at them in a vacuum, it could tear your heart apart. But you can't be everything to everybody. And I just wanted to, you and I tee up some pretty serious topics on here while we also have some fun. And I thought it would be a good exercise to see, where can we start to agree that we need to cut back a little bit, because at this pace, we're never going to be able to, get caught up. It's just out of control.
No, you're right.
And so what do you think about that carbon neutral thing, just on that note? Because it's a huge range. Either you are trying to cut down emissions and you're doing little things, or you're all in, it seems like some of the people are, which is we need carbon neutral by 2050.
Well, yeah, first off, no technology can be forced or created before its time. Like the reason we're still on gas, because a drop of gas produces more energy for the price, for the size, how much it weighs, how much space it takes up, the amount of energy it produces. So carbon neutral for 2050, I think those are great goals. You have to have goals. You can't just say we don't do anything and only when the crap's hitting the fan do we react. So we know we have problems. We know we have a CO2 problem. So, we saw the NASA, photos of the ozone hole, and we got rid of, aerosols and things of that nature, Freon, and it's improved things. So, but the technology has to be there to move in that direction. So I think setting the goal is fine, Dan. We'll hit the goal when it's physically possible to hit the goal. We're not going to, power down cities and go to, bicycles and, not have electricity and power.
There are a lot of very, very passionate people on this topic. And the reason I saw it and put it in here was Senator Kennedy was questioning people at a hearing. And there was this one skier who was there as an expert on the environment. And he's the one that was promoting with the group 2050. Everything is carbon neutral by 2050. And then, Kennedy said, well, that sounds great. How much is it? And the guy had no idea. He moved from being an expert in that to saying, I'm not an economist. I just know we need to do it. And so what he laid out was, and I did the homework after that, is in order to achieve that, now assuming what you said, no improvements that we're aware of in technology between now and then, that would cost $100 trillion.
Oh, no. There'll be dramatic improvements in technology between now and then, exponentially.
I understand, but do you think that significantly reduces the footprint, and does that change the $100 trillion?
Oh, I definitely think whatever the cost is, we're going to figure out if it's cost effective or not to do it, Dan. And do we benefit from it by doing it? And like these, folks that are saying, like a bomb's about to go off, if it gets to a desperate time where dramatic things are happening, it'll accelerate the pace and the money will become less relevant, how much it costs to fix the problem. So these things tend to kind of take care of themselves. I think the vast majority of people in America are commonsensical. They're not going to look away and act like man can't influence the planet. And they're not going to, embrace the tree and save the owl and not advance mankind. So I don't worry about that stuff too much.
No, I just brought up the number because I do think there are a lot of well-meaning people that want to do it, but they have no idea what it would take. And that's just a dangerous spot to be in. So obviously you want the plant to be healthy, but you go all the way from they want to remove plastics and, create paper straws, but there's plastic in clothing. There's plastics everywhere. So
but plastic's one of our biggest problems right now in the entire world. Plastic. I mean, just the fact that plastics in your body and my body right now, little micro particles of plastic, that's not a good thing. And no, plastic worries the hell out of me. And kind of the belligerent attitude of the United States, like the plastic straw thing. First off, can you name a place that you've been to that doesn't have a plastic straw, Dan? Seriously. I can't think of a place that uses a non-plastic straw. And honestly, I'm used to a plastic straw. The cardboard straw, for some reason, the sensation of the cool or heat of the drink, I don't feel. It seems to make it less appetizing. I'll learn to live with that. I got no problem getting rid of styrofoam and going to corrugated, biodegradable, paper to-go containers. I got no problem trying to get off of as much plastic as possible. Plastic is a great invention, but we're like addicted to plastic. So I think plastic's a problem. I don't like that it's in my body right now.
Yeah. And that's the reality of it. You can say you want to get rid of it, but it takes an awful lot more.
No, you just have to kind of the European model. You have to kind of make an effort. But the belligerent attitude of, we like our plastic straws, that's the opposite. That's just belligerent stupidity, political crap, refusing to think about the actual situation. That's sad to me. Am I wrong about that?
No, I mean, I'm not. I'm drank out of the cardboard and the paper straws, and I'm not a fan. And until you can tell me that it's going to make a difference, I want the plastic straw. I'm sorry, but that's where I'm at. I don't think I'm belligerent. I think I'm pretty rational, but
no, I'm not saying you're belligerent. I think people making it like it's nothing, like it doesn't matter. I think it's plastic. How doesn't it matter? All plastic matters. I think that's the problem. I think, the sizzle, the bacon on the skillet, Dan, is saying they want to take our plastic straws away, like it's some person hugging a tree. I think styrofoam and plastic is a problem. Anyone that doesn't acknowledge that isn't paying attention. I think that's safe to say.
I just believe that the environment and the Green New Deal and some of these other things are perfect examples of the extreme on both, which is it does work both ways, Corey. So is eliminate all plastics, and
Can't
if you
do
don't
it.
believe in that, you don't love the environment. And on the other end, let's show there's a correlation and let's make it better. But unfortunately, you're one or the other if you're a politician.
Yeah.
You're either against it or you're with it all the way. And there's nothing along the lines of let's get better. Like, I just wish that would be the case on how we would address the environment.
No, because that's not popular, especially as a politician. It either has to be get rid of the plastic or you want to go paper straws. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Instead of just common sense, let's try to, be a little more European-like, not do what everything Europe does, but they have a better mentality when it comes to plastic. I mean, you go to like a movie theater, you get a pint of beer in a glass and people don't drop it on the floor and break it in Europe, It's just...
Or throw it at another.
Or throw it at someone. America, we're a bunch of children sometimes, It's... Anyway.
How about it? I'll go with a little less, not less important, but a little less significant on the lives of people. NPR. What do you think about that? At a $300 million tag, do you want to pick up $300 million? Do you want to cut it a little?
Well, wait, no. If it's $300 million, that would mean NPR's budget. Let's see, $300 million. What would be 1%? That would be. You tell me their budget's $3 trillion a year. I think 1% is federally funded NPR. So, do I have that wrong? Isn't NPR like 1%?
They include the grants in here and private donations.
Yeah. Well, that's their private donations. That's their own business. That's them getting private donations. As far as federal government tax dollars, it's 1%. I don't care if NPR gets 1%.
It was 1% on the budget, but it was more than that through these other programs.
Of course,
they form these aid programs, and then all of a sudden, it goes to NPR and it goes elsewhere. So the figure was the real number that they get that they otherwise would not is $300 million. So
okay.
Either way, what's your thought on it?
All I know, Dan, I guess we disagree on the $300 million because all I know is NPR gets 1% of their budget from tax dollars. 1%. All right. So I have no problem with that. And I guess if you want to take the 1% away of their total budget, I'm sure they'll make it up with donors. So I don't have a problem with NPR. I don't really listen to NPR. I don't know. It's not my speed, but I don't have a problem with NPR. I don't know.
Yeah.
No big deal.
It just made it on the national
radar. And it's sort of like, the getting rid of like illegals or, the Doge thing. It's so minuscule. You can fire 100,000 federal workers. It's not going to cut any kind of into the deficit at all. Nothing. Zero. Nothing. Minuscule. So I know you got to take little bites out of the elephant, but 1% NPR budget doesn't do anything to the deficit. Nothing. No one would notice it.
Let's hit these two quick. Taxpayer-funded abortions, taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries.
That kind of goes into the same category as NPR. I think, first off, what is the place on Claiborne? The child care place.
I know.
Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
None of the money they get from the feds can be used for abortion, so that's a farce. And then the money they get from the feds is 3%, from what I remember. And I've done no research on the 1% NPR, 3%, just from past knowledge of what I know. So these figures could be a couple of years old, but they're not that old. So, no, I don't. First off, there are not many taxpayer-funded abortions and taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries. I would imagine you could count those on the digits you or I have on our bodies, hands and feet combined. I don't know.
They're estimating between $20 and $40 million a year. I mean, that's
who's estimating that?
Trillions. It's not a ton, but it's more. Where do you draw the line on what you're willing to put taxpayer money towards, regardless of?
Some people think pain is pain. Well,
apologies, Dan. Sorry about that. No, what? Yeah, no, I hear you. We got to find something, but I just think. Taxpayer-funded abortions, taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries. These are, outliers. They're rarities. I don't know where you came with the 40 million. I don't know how much these surgeries cost, but I don't think there are many people that are seeking that for the feds to pay for it.
It's happening quite a bit now in prisons and other areas, but
like how many prisoners have had that surgery, you think, in the United States? I think we could count it on our feet or toes. Just one of us, not together. How many? I bet it's like 6, 8,
That's
10.
A good one, but I'll find out the number and exactly where it came from. I did the research. It was a rough estimate because the data is not that developed, but at the same time, they're using an annualized growth of the actual processes.
Right. No, and we got to wonder where the sources are and all that too. Is it the real facts, statistics, or is it someone with a slant left or right? Dan, I'm going to knock out another quick break. We're coming right back. This hour's flying by. It's The Real Deal with Dan Reel.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen. It's the Real Deal with Dan Reel. I'm playing traffic cop. Dan, it's your program.
Yeah, I think it is flying by. I think we're teeing up some pretty tough stuff. I love how you're so decisive. That makes it, pretty easy to talk about the topic. These are some tough things. And so let's jump to FEMA, $30 billion a year. What do? You hear it's being peeled back. What's your stance on FEMA?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you get rid of FEMA. I don't know how, like just this, hey, we leave it up to the states. Which one is it? North Carolina got screwed by Biden, or, they're a loser state that can't handle the disaster. It's got to be one or the other. You can't be both. So when you have the Trump administration saying, get rid of FEMA, the state will handle it, then I guess Biden's not responsible for the response at North Carolina, which I don't know how good or bad the response was at North Carolina. I remember Rush Limbaugh when Katrina hit. Iowa people picked themselves up by their bootstraps. Louisiana people have like a problem. Like, oh, really, Rush? What are you going to compare? Some flooding in Iowa, with a population of 50 to a metropolitan area, 1.2 million that, we went underwater. No, it's just silly. I don't know how you get rid of FEMA, but I think like the beginning topic, Stan, scrutinized, made more efficient. I mean, when a blue roof costs more than a real roof, that's a problem, Dan. That's a problem. And I get it's emergency, and I get that the people that are doing it deserve a premium because they're reacting on the fly, but a blue roof should not cost more than a regular roof.
No, I believe FEMA is, in play because of the way that it's treated. There's still FEMA trailers in Louisiana. As a matter of fact, I think some in
Lake Charles.
And if you hear, there were a few employees that were working for the city.
Oh, yeah.
Out of a couple old FEMA trailers.
Yeah.
So that's the point. I mean, if you just bring stuff to where the problem is and you leave it, or you can't reuse it, or whatever it may be, it just seems like one of those programs that, of course, you have to help these areas, but you've got to also tighten the belt. So it's not an either or. It's better and we'll be there when you need us.
Yep. No, exactly. Yeah.
How about universal health care? Obviously, that's a big topic that's, pretty pointed on either side, but you're talking about trillions of dollars to get that done.
Yeah. We're like the only, first world, civilized, humane country, in the world that doesn't have it, right?
Yeah. I mean, there are a few, places where they don't offer it, but that's not because of...
pretty much everywhere we think of that's like us, that's Canada, right. Britain, France, Spain, Italy, Germany, they all have universal health care. This is such a catch-22, Dan, because first off, we're fixing you. I don't care if you're a migrant worker, illegal alien, you have health care, you don't have health care. Your arm gets cut off in a combine, you get thrown out in front of a hospital. We're stitching you up. So there's going to be a bill. It may or may not get paid by that person, but we're going to fix you in America. So we already have universal health care in essence. We're never like, hey, the hospital put that guy out on the street, he bled to death and died. Never happens. So yeah, we've got to figure out probably a more efficient, better system. I think a lot of it is the flip side of it. The $8 Tylenol at the hospital, the MRI that's 10 grand or whatever. Those kind of things get out of control. So the expenses are crazy, especially when compared to other countries, what they pay for medicine and the like. So,
well, how do you balance personal responsibility in that?
Well,
a lot of these times they go there, it's because there's diabetes or other things driven by horrible diets, lack of exercise. There are definitely, for the causes that we would all agree upon, cancer and things for kids and all that, that's fine. But what do you do as a society when the obesity level is out of control? And obviously that has a huge ripple effect on the system.
That's a good question. I don't know how you would, healthy people balance it out, I guess. I don't know, Dan. I don't know. Other countries don't live like us. We tend to eat more and live, more of an unhealthy lifestyle. We get in the car, we don't walk, we don't exercise, we don't do those things. So, the other countries probably have an easier route with universal health care because the population isn't as sickly.
That's right. And that's where I was going with it, is many of these things do have, an alternative that needs to be addressed, and it's not very popular. So again, it seems like it's either give everybody health care or be really tough on who gets it. And the reality is, you're right, if you go there. Now, that person that gets their arm stitched up might not be able to go back and get the bandages replaced. I don't know how seriously those things are addressed, but I'm definitely aware of people that get turned away for what they view as quote unquote elective when it's really not that. That's not the case. So I just think it needs to be totally revamped. It's untenable. You can't keep going this way. But at the same time, as a society, people aren't fitting in on airplane seats anymore.
No, you're right. America's a messed up country.
Yeah, and then I saw a commercial the other day for 1,000-pound sisters or something like that on TV. It's just it's nuts. Let's hit another one, though, that's near and dear to your old friend, Mitch. What do you do about infrastructure across the country? Broadband and bridges and everything else.
No, it's a joke. Everybody was complaining about Biden's infrastructure bill. I think it had like $25 billion for all the ports in the country. And I think Singapore is building a container port that's $30 billion. So a single container port in Singapore is going to cost more than what the United States wants to pour into every single port in the country. So, no, we have major infrastructure problems. America used to be, do it first class, whatever's the cost. Now it is aging infrastructure. Is it affordable? Can we afford to redo that bridge? We have bridges falling in the water. We have, bridges collapsing. No, we're a country that you had explosive growth in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and now it's 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years later, and we've got aging infrastructure. No, we need to invest in our infrastructure. We need almost like Depression era public works type thing. We got to invest in our infrastructure, got to figure out how to come up with the money, because that's great infrastructure fuels the economy, Dan. People get around quicker, easier, make more money, the whole deal.
I'm with you. It's just, you brought up ports. The reality is a lot of these bridges were built back in the 30s and 40s and haven't been fully adjusted. And the reality is, I hear Blue Boy, but the reality is even the structures built back then were not what they could be today.
No, you're right.
I appreciate you playing the other side today and having me on. And I thought it was great.
Yep, we'll do it again next Tuesday, Dan. Anytime, man. You come up with the topics anytime.
Take care, Corey.
That's Dan Real, the real deal, every Tuesday in the 4 o'clock hour. Blue Boys saying stick around, 5 o'clock powwow next.
On the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters. And you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home. And right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. At Audubon Gutters.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. Benjamin White.
Test, 3, 2, 1. No, yes, no, yes.
Maybe? No? Yeah. 5 o'clock hour coming your way on a Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us. Here's Drew Brees, number 9. You darn Tootin. Tootin can't be a word, Miss Peaches. Darn Tootin. How do you think it's spelled? What is Tootin? I got to figure that one out. I mean, Tootin's a word? Are we missing it? Is it something else? Darn Tootin. It's Tootin. Yeah. Darn Tootin is an old-fashioned, informal, and American slang expression. It used to mean absolutely correct, speaking the truth, or to emphasize something as being absolute, utter, or complete. It also can be used to express surprise. Darn Tootin. All right, maybe we'll ask this question. What is the Tootin in darn Tootin? Question mark. Well, it spelled the Tootin the first time wrong, Miss Peaches, T-U-T-E-N, but spelled it correctly with the darn. Right, it got it on the toot. The Tootin in the phrase darn Tootin is a form of the verb toot.
That's what I thought. It's from toot.
Which, you know.
I know it. I never mind.
When I hear the word toot, I think of, some cocaine in a movie or something.
No, I think of, this is inappropriate, I think. I don't know. That's what I think.
Oh. Yeah.
That's
Toot.
That's what they call it.
Well, I think that would be poot, not toot, Miss Peaches. Toot. Poot. Poot. Toot. It's funny. The tootin' in the phrase darn tootin' is a form of the verb toot. I mean, and the toot is the sound or blow of a horn or similar instrument.
Okay.
All right.
But that's what I told what it was.
Wow. Anyway. Jeez. All right. Since we're on darn tootin', by golly, meaning.
I don't get the verb from it, though.
He put up Bengali.
Okay.
No. By golly. I want by golly.
Oh, shucks. By golly.
By golly meaning. Golly's just exclamation, but what's the by part? Oh, boy. Miss Peaches.
Yes.
That meter that has the people listening and watching, it just plummets to 0. It fell up against the stick that holds the needle from disappearing. It's resting on 0 right now. Did we just lose the entire radio and television audience by darn tootin'? By golly, we lost them all.
Oh, by golly.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's that red light that keeps blinking.
LSU baseball won, darn tootin', by golly. They got rain delayed last night, then postponed till this morning. First pitch was 10 a.m. Around 12:30, they took care of UCLA right around lunchtime. UCLA and Arkansas are either going at it right now or are about to go at it. It's an elimination game. And then tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow evening, LSU will play either Arkansas or UCLA again. And if LSU loses, they'll play UCLA or Arkansas a third time. LSU's in the winner's bracket. It's a double elimination tournament. UCLA and Arkansas are playing in an elimination game. The winner will play LSU tomorrow. LSU's undefeated. The winner of UCLA, Arkansas, will have a loss. So if LSU wins tomorrow night against either UCLA or Arkansas, they move on to the weekend and the championship best of 3 starting Saturday. If LSU loses tomorrow night to Arkansas and UCLA, they'll tee it up again the very next day to see who goes to Saturday's elimination 3-game series for the championship. So LSU's in the winner's bracket. They're 1 win away from taking on the winner from the opposing side, which right now is not Georgia Southern, Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina is undefeated. They're in the winner's bracket. So right now, the betting money would be LSU Coastal Carolina on Saturday in a best of 3 for the national championship. But first things first, UCLA and Arkansas have to play, and then the winner takes on the Tigers tomorrow. The winner of UCLA Arkansas has to beat LSU twice. LSU only needs to win once. LSU goes 1-1 or 1-0. They're in the championship weekend. It's that simple. Go Tigers. No, nice job last night and nice job this morning. I mean, that overnight delay, but I guess it's paying off all those crazy rain delays this season. There were a lot of them that were legitimate, and there were a lot of them where Jay Johnson, the coach of the Tigers, got a little, Doppler crazy. He's from Arizona. He came from Arizona. So he's used to dry desert, 10 inches of rain a year, not 10 inches in a day or two. So anytime that Doppler had a storm tracking towards the box, Jay Johnson sometimes would pull the trigger and slow things down. It's all paying off now. They learned how to deal with that. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock power hour on a Tuesday. 766-9480 is the phone number. I saw on social media, for you LSU folks, Frenchie was not the artist locally, who I know and am friends with on Oak Street. Good guy. Frenchie, the chef at Louis Cafe in Baton Rouge, he started cooking there when I was at LSU. When I was a student at LSU, I'm in my 50s. Frenchie retired just a few years ago. He just passed away a few weeks ago. Friends and family, our thoughts and prayers are with you. And no, I'll miss Frenchie because I missed him when he retired. I remember when I was at LSU. I remember post LSU when I'd go cover the Nick Saban press conference on Mondays, and LSU would have a lunch served to the media, and it was usually just like some like cold noodles or some. It wasn't like terrible, but it wasn't anything good. So I'm like, unlike a lot of the media where you leave like a 5-day-old hot dog out on the table and it's gone 5 minutes later, I'll go buy some food. And I'm like, I'm going to go get a Louis burger or a couple of Louis burgers and some of those hash browns. You can get either a 4-ounce burger or like a big 8-ounce burger. I would get 2 4-ounce. I like the smaller ones. The grilled onions, a good bun, the hash browns or cut up potato chunks on the grill with onions. They're just fantastic. No, Louis was something special to me because when I was a senior in high school, I went up to LSU to visit my brother. My brother left LSU like in May. I got there in August. We missed being at LSU together by 2 months. But I remember going up there in 84, 85 and going to the original Louis on State Street. And they were open like 6 a.m. to 2 in the afternoon, and that was it. It was a breakfast and lunch joint only. And it seated about 20, not even 20 people, about 12 or 10 across the front and maybe 3 in each window. So maybe 15, 18 people tops. There were no tables, a counter and some window counter seats. That's it. But you'd order hash browns. They would grab a potato and they would cube it in front of you and drop the potato in a skillet with onions and, all kind of different seasonings and cook the hash browns right in front of you. You order a hamburger, they'd have a pile of meat right there. They would pull off some meat, form the burger with their hand, drop it on the grill right in front of you. It was incredible. Then they moved across from, they were on Chime Street. They moved to West State and opened 24/7. And it was fantastic, 24/7. And now they are in the old Wendy's right down the street. And they're back to breakfast and lunch only, or they close like right around dinner, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. They're not 24 hours. But Louis has a fantastic hamburger, like one of the best hamburgers anywhere. A Louis burger is top-notch with the grilled onions. And Frenchie, the chef at Louis in Baton Rouge, sadly retired a few years ago and sadly passed away. He was a good guy. I would go in there and get a to-go order. He said he knew it was me from what I would get. And it was perfect. And I'd hand him a $5 bill every time, besides tipping the waiter, just because Frenchie was the man and remembered me and took care of me. And so I thought the least I can do is tip him $5, even though he's the chef. I'm sure some other people are tipping him too. Just did a great job. I think I read like in the obituary, studied at like the Cordon Bleu. I mean, like was a chef, and ended up just cooking at Louis. But the reason it was so good is because he was a chef. I'm a cook. I can cook. I'm not a chef. I can't make sauces and things of that nature. Frenchie could. State Senator Blake Miguez going after Bill Cassidy's U.S. Senate seat. He's in the race. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. Phone lines are open, 766-9480. 5 o'clock powwow this afternoon brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. They invented the shrimp peeling machine that is the industry standard around the world. All plastic modular conveyor belt, industry standard around the world. If it's a manufacturing facility, it's got an Intralox belt from Latrim. They're looking for you. For a full listing of positions available, go to latrim.com.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots. Total maintenance keeps you cool. TM-AC.com, your cool spots.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City. Not a politician or part of a political machine. Corey Johnson.
I propose that I use what's left of the town treasury to move to a more prosperous town and run for mayor.
In Metro New Orleans on 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Miss Peaches, I hate this. I get this arbitrary text from a number I do not know, and it just says, "Are you free tomorrow?" ? It just makes you want to respond. I'm not gonna, because I have no idea who that is, but no bueno, that's for sure. They got me one morning. Okay. Yeah, I woke up to a text, and it was like, "Hey, it's the post office. We need to deliver a package to you, but we need $1.50." And like a dumbass, I mean, I'm half awake. I text something, and then all of a sudden I'll get a text from my bank saying someone's trying to pull $1,500 and we're shutting down your card. So I was like, lucky I had other cards, but I had to wait. Like if that was my only card, it would have been a week before I got my new one, Crazy. Anyway, no, I woke up. I was like, Corey, did you really give the info? I mean, I was half awake. That's my excuse, at least. I'm sticking with it. That's my pathetic excuse. So you don't think I'm dumb. Geesh, that was so stupid. That was dumb. 766-9480. Yeah, don't give your information out to anyone. 766-9480. Gail Benson buys another New Orleans office tower, kind of catty corner from Benson Tower, that trio of buildings across from the Dome. The one right on the corner, a catty corner from Benson Tower on Poydras and Loyola. 1515 Poydras, 27 stories. Gail Benson taking control. And that building has a low occupancy, actually. I think only a third of that building's occupied. So I guess she's going to talk of maybe turning it into condos or apartments, or who knows. Anyway, one of our newest office buildings, whatever that means, that trio of buildings across from the Dome, I want to say circa early 80s, all of them, all three, they were all built at the same time, early 80s. The Dome opened in 75. I mean, the New Orleans skyline, it's sad. I mean, I grew up with a booming skyline from 1972 to about 1985, literally. That 72 to 87, let's say, that 15-year period from 1972 to 1987, that 15 years, 25 brand new high-rise buildings were built in New Orleans, either office towers or hotels. 25 of them, starting with One Shell Square in 1972, and I guess finishing up with Benson Tower, old C&G Tower. That was I think that was a little after 87. I think that Benson Tower was finished in 89. But there really hadn't been anything else built since then. A couple of South Market District condo towers. But the modern New Orleans skyline that today, the trio of buildings across from the Dome, Energy Center, 909 Poydras, I call it the old Texaco building, Darth Vader, the black one with the angled top, all the Place St. Charles, Canal Place, all these buildings, all of them were built between 72 and 87 in a 15-year period. 25 high-rise buildings. Amazing. Now, what I saw growing up, that's what's going on in Nashville and Austin. There's some time link pictures of those downtowns a decade ago compared to today. It's night and day. It's night and day. And the cranes in the sky today in cities like Austin and Nashville, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing, the growth. Now, we've missed that ride that's been going on for about 40 years. Literally. More than that, 50 years. We enjoyed the ride in the 70s, but the ride continued 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. I'm talking about the South as a region and Texas as a state. Literally, we're surrounded by it. I guess we jumped on a boat and headed out to the Gulf and missed the boat that was taking us to prosperity. I mean, even the struggling states in the South seem to kind of have their act pseudo together. The Tennessee for sure, but like Kentucky, Alabama, trying really hard. Mississippi, with not a lot of natural assets and resources, trying really hard. Louisiana, we're not a poor state. We're a rich state run poorly. We are a rich state. We have the Mississippi River. We have the oil and gas industry, seafood, 2 growing seasons, all kind of natural resources. We should be a filthy rich state, coupled with insane culture. I mean, what other state has culture like the city of New Orleans and culture like our Cajun community in Southwest Louisiana? Nowhere. I shouldn't even say Southwest Louisiana. Cajun country starts like in Boutte, basically right outside New Orleans, and goes about, halfway to Lake Charles to about Crowley, and then north almost to Alexandria. No other state has the Cajun culture. No other state has New Orleans culture. No, plus all the assets we have, it's sinful. It's a shame. But, when you jump in bed with Edwin Edwards and Mark Morial and Bill Jefferson and, those types, the Alario, the Heitmeyer brothers, Nagin, Broussard, I can go on and on. Nagin and Broussard are like children. They're like amateurs. The Bill Jeffersons, the Edwin Edwards, the Alarios, these are professionals. These are professionals that setting up themselves, friends, and family, and just taking advantage of the system, not civic-minded, not worrying about us. Now, I'll never forget when I was at LSU and Buddy Roemer came out of nowhere, the Roemer Revolution. This guy comes in the late 80s as governor, and he's like, we're going to make dramatic change. We're going to be like North Carolina. We're going to be like North Carolina. And I'll never forget, you had like Sammy Nunes in the Senate, a helper of Edwin Edwards. You had Sherman Copeland and John Alario in the House helping Edwin Edwards. They were like diffusing any of the things that Roemer was trying to change. Roemer won the election as a Democrat. He changed to a Republican way before that became popular in Louisiana. People doing it to win elections. Roemer did it because of ideology. So he's in office, won as a Democrat, changes first term to Republican. What does the Louisiana Republican Party do? Do they embrace that and endorse the Republican incumbent, governor? No, they endorsed this guy, Clyde Holloway, an evangelical extremist out of Baton Rouge, a wacky right-winger. He garnered like 7% of the vote. Just enough to knock Buddy Roemer into third place. No Clyde Holloway, an endorsement by the Republican Party of Buddy Roemer. He wins a second term, and who knows what happens. Maybe we are like North Carolina. Maybe New Orleans has an economy like Charlotte, and maybe the rest of the state is like North Carolina. Instead, we get the David Dork. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than this. We get the David Dork, Edwin Edwards election. I'll never forget the bumper stickers. Vote for the crook. It's important. And the other one was David Dork, Fuhrer. Like, hey, vote for the Fuhrer, David Dork, election time. Plus David Dork, like it didn't say David Duke. David Dork, Fuhrer. Brilliant. No, it's so sad. We had Buddy Roemer, a change agent, an honest, legitimate person who wasn't playing politics, was just coming in to change Louisiana to make it better for all of us. And instead, we get the Republican Party endorsing Clyde Holloway, delivering us the David Dork, Edwin Edwards election. And that was just, guaranteed loser. Edwin Edwards' fourth term. He just went to jail for a decade. That's his legacy, a criminal. And I love. I'm giddy about this. I have to admit it, Miss Peaches. There's no Cajun blood running through Edwin Edwards' body. Zero. His father's from Kentucky. His mother's from France. They're not Cajun. And Edwin Edwards has a Cajun accent and grew up in Cajun country. but I'm 25% Cajun. My dad's mother was Cajun French. I have 25% more Cajun blood running through my veins than Edwin Edwards. Now, Cajuns can sit there and go, screw you, New Orleans City boy. I love the Cajun community. I grew up going down to Bayou Teche and New Iberia, Abbeville, Lafayette, Crowley. I'm Syrian, Lebanese. I'm an Arab. That community, full of them down there. Lots of Arabs, lots of Lebanese and Syrian in those places I just mentioned. No, so you can dislike, you'd say I'm just some yatty New Orleans boy, and I am, but I'm 25% Cajun. That's a fact. And it's a fact that Edwin Edwards is zero Cajun, has zero Cajun blood in his body. He is not a Cajun. Edwin Edwards is not. No, it's just that mentality crippled us. The criminal Edwin Edwards and the racist David Duke, just embarrassing for Louisiana. No, we could have been maybe North Carolina, which would have been fantastic, where we deserve to be. New Orleans should have 2.5 million in the metro, a booming city. Louisiana, Baton Rouge should have north of 1 million folks. Shreveport should be explosive growth. Lake Charles, Monroe, Ellick, Alexandria, booming growth. In country towns, rural areas of Louisiana, it should be booming growth. Maybe even, dare I say it, some town emerging as a city like Natchitoches, like you see in Texas. No, we blew it, and we're still blowing it. We're still blowing it. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. LSU baseball wins 9-5. They're in the winner's bracket. I'll fill you in on what that means in a second. The Pelicans get another number one pick from the Pacers. I think the Pels had the Pacers number one pick for next year. They gave that to the Pacers to take their pick from this year. So the Pels have the 7th pick overall and the 23rd now. Are they going to pair those together to move up in the draft? There were some rumors about that. We'll see. Oh, boy, Trey Yen in Mandeville, so good. They're open for dinner right now. Get a to-go order. Dine in. North Shore, South Shore, folks. Tonight for dinner. Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Does Helm Paint have the best paint on the planet? Helm, yeah. We only sell Benjamin Moore, the world's finest paint. Because paint ain't paint. Let us steer you right. Helm Paint.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Uptown, Carrollton, Riverbend, Holly Grove, Gerttown, Gentilly, Lakefront, West Bank, Lakeview. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground, where New Orleans is heard.
766-9480 is how you dial us up. 766-9480. Oh, Miss Peaches, it got me again. That stupid food. The smart food, I told you about the popcorn in the black bag. It's called smart food. It's so damn good. The white cheddar, it's crack cocaine of popcorn. I could eat the whole big bag. So anyway, I get the small bag just because it limits how much I can eat. And then I walk in and I look in the small bags like $2.59 and the big bags like $4.29. I'm like, right away, justify 3-4 times as much for less than twice as much. So I justified getting the big bag on price, which is all BS. I want to eat more. So anyway, I go home and I knock out like 90% of the damn bag. End up dumping it in the garbage can so I couldn't eat it. Anyway, I go back like later because I'm looking at the bag and the big bag's like 1,000 calories. The small bag's 300. Funyuns are 290. Doritos are like 310. So smart food ain't smart food. Smart food's dumb food. Someone needs to sue them. I should get an attorney and say, this smart food thing, it's not smart. It's not. And this, on the label, it says like, 70 calories for a cup of popcorn. You know how big a cup is? Cup's 8 ounces, right? Like that would be like a Mardi Gras cup, half full of popcorn. So how many pieces of popcorn is half a Mardi Gras cup? Like 25 or 30 tops? Seriously. Popcorn's like, the size of like a marble. It's not, but it's not like an M&M where you could fit like 50 in half a, you know what I'm saying? They're puffy. They're kind of big. The kernel, when they're blown up. Some I'm eating like 20 pieces of popcorn. That's my 70 calories. I gotta count them. I'm not counting the calories. I just want to eat the popcorn. But it is like crack, and there's nothing smart about it. I don't know why it's called smart food. It needs to be called dumb food. Yeah, but who's eating that? That's like 3 Doritos. Hey, open the bag of Doritos. 70 calories. That's 3 chips. It's ridiculous. That isn't like a realistic portion. The small bag is 2 portions. I knock out the whole bag. It's 300 calories. Yeah, and I'm like, want more. Want more.
Just add it to your calories.
Anyway, I haven't had the not smart. What's the other one called that Jennifer Aniston hypes? Something pop? No, it's not smart pop. I think it's something pop or something. Anyway, that one can't be as good because it's like half the calories. And I think all the calories, Miss Peaches, come from that cheddar cheese. The white cheddar cheese on this popcorn. No, I forgot what it's called. Pop Magic, Pop something. I forget. Anyway, Pop Magic. I have no clue. Anyway, I've never even tried it because it's half the calories and it can't taste as good. But literally, it's 9 at night. I've gotten up, jumped in the car, driven to the Walgreens, got the small bag of the popcorn and went home and ate it. Just ridiculous. I just go to sleep, Corey. But it's like crack. I'm telling you, it keeps calling me. I feel like Pookie in New Jack City. Keeps calling my name. That smart food bag. I might have to be the smart food for Mardi Gras. Yeah, just dumb food is what I'm going to call it. Yeah, when I was like, same amount of calories, fat, sugar, all that is like Funyuns. What's smart about this? Miss Peaches, I'll never forget, I left a Frito, one single Frito on a guy's, like a yellow sticky note on his desk at work, like at the radio station, like 5 at night. The sales staff had left. And I was eating Fritos 30 years ago. I put one on the yellow sticky note, Came back the next morning. The corners of the sticky note were all that were yellow. It was a huge grease circle, like taking up 90% of the sticky note. Like all the oil in the Frito, the paper absorbed it or it leaked out. I'm just like, a single Frito has that much oil and grease in it? Yep. Now, I'll reheat pizza in the oven and I do the paper towel gimmick. The orange comes on the paper towel, I guess it helps. Takes a little of the fat and grease away. Anyway. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon, 5 o'clock powwow. Helm Paint and Decorating's with you. I know that we've had a lot of rain. It might postpone your outdoor painting project, but it doesn't mean you got to not do the indoor project. Helm Paint and Decorating, because paint ain't paint. Benjamin Moore, the best paint on the planet. No, all paint's not the same. Say no to the big box store. Say no to the national chain store. Go with the local guys that know what they're talking about. Helm Paint and Decorating in New Orleans for over 55 years. Now they're in Baton Rouge for the last few years, taking care of folks in the capital city. 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, 4 in Baton Rouge, free 2-hour delivery. Helm Paint and Decorating, because paint ain't paint. When you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, Helm Paint and Decorating, the no-brainer. LSU baseball, it took them a day and a half, I guess, 2 days, whatever. They played last night, and then rain came, and there was a rain delay, and then the Doppler was just saying ridiculous amount of rain. So they postponed the game. They resumed play this morning at 10 a.m. And LSU took care of UCLA 9-5. LSU stays in the winner's bracket. UCLA taking on Arkansas, like as we speak, or in a little while. That was a tough one for the loser of the LSU-UCLA game because of the postponement and playing today. The loser plays again today against Arkansas. So it's an elimination game going on right now or in a few minutes. Arkansas, UCLA. The loser goes home, is eliminated. The winner stays alive and takes on LSU tomorrow evening. And they've got to beat the Tigers twice to advance to Saturday's best of 3 for the national championship. So LSU in the winner's bracket. LSU wins tomorrow night against UCLA or Arkansas. They're in the championship bracket, in the championship game, the best of 3 series. They're in the final 2 if they win tomorrow night. If they lose tomorrow night to either UCLA or Arkansas, those teams will tee it up again for a third time. Well, Arkansas would be a third time. UCLA would be a second time. But Arkansas would be a third time, 6th time this year. LSU and Arkansas played a 3-game series earlier in the year. So LSU's in the driver's seat, 1 win away from playing in this weekend's best of 3 championship series, and they can go 1-1 and still make it. The winner of tonight's UCLA-Arkansas game has to beat LSU twice, to make it to Saturday's best of 3 championship game. So Tigers definitely in the driver's seat. What's crazy, Coastal Carolina is on the flip side. They're 2-0. They're undefeated. Coastal Carolina, like LSU, kind of controls their destiny. Win tomorrow night, and Coastal Carolina is in the championship series. Coastal Carolina won the national title a few years ago in baseball. An amazing baseball program. Coastal Carolina, not NC State, not North Carolina, not South Carolina, not Clemson, Duke, Wake Forest. Coastal Carolina. Crazy. State Senator Blake Miguez going after Bill Cassidy's U.S. Senate seat. He's going to run against Bill Cassidy. Blake Miguez is a state senator, wants the U.S. Senate seat. His commercial's a little crazy. It just starts off with like, I'm a, expert marksman. And then he starts throwing paint cans in the air that have, I guess, problems. I mean, I didn't look at them close enough, problems that Cassidy is supporting. Proceeds to throw them in the air and then shoot them. But it's two shots. It's when I say two shots, two video. It's not one camera shot where you see him throwing it in the air and shooting it. One camera shot shows him throwing it into the air. The second one shows a can up in the air blowing up. Now, I talk about Trey Yen a lot, and the Wong brothers. A few of these Wong brothers and some of the sons are expert marksmen. Like, you can go on YouTube and watch them shoot bottles with a pistol and reload. And it's like, 80 bottles across the line and they're knocking everyone down. And then there's one where they shoot a target and that ejects a skeet up in the air. And with a pistol, they're shooting the skeet in the air with a single bullet. Now, first off, you got to be an expert marksman with that pistol. Second, as the skeet is going up, the moment it stops going up, but before it starts going down, that millisecond, it's just frozen in time and it's not moving. It ceases going up at that very moment and is yet to go down. That moment, and it's a millisecond, it stops. That's when you shoot it. You can watch the video of the Wong guy from one of the Trey Yen brothers. He shoots the target, it ejects the skeet, and he shoots the skeet. You see it all blow up in one camera shot. Blake Miguez's commercial is two camera shots. Him throwing the can up in the air, and then the can in its own camera shot being blown up. So I don't know how many bullets Blake Miguez had to shoot to hit those cans, or did someone else do it? I'm not saying Blake Miguez can't shoot. I watched the commercial. He can shoot a pistol. He shoots like an AR-15 rifle at the end. These commercials are so dopey. You want to know the sad part? They're effective and they work. Hardcore Republicans, they're no different from hardcore liberals. You throw the chunk of cheese on the stick out in front of them, they're going to keep running on that treadmill, on that wheel. Just like the mouse chasing the cheese it can't catch. No, the liberals have their cheese, and apparently conservatives just get a gun in your political commercial and start shooting the gun. I mean, why not sit down at a table and eat a bowl of spaghetti and meatballs? I guess that wouldn't have the same effect. Or hitting a tennis ball wouldn't have the same effect. Or look how good I am at rolling paint on a wall wouldn't have the same effect. But shooting the gun and saying I'm an expert marksman, I don't get it. I like fine dining. I'm Corey Johnson. Vote for me for Senate. I like good food. Just crazy. That'd be my slogan. It might as well be, because Blake Miguez, hopefully I get him on the show. I got to ask him, what's up with the commercial with all the firearms going off, huh?
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Some people think paint is paint. Well, it ain't. Paint ain't paint. At Helm Paint, we only sell Benjamin Moore because it's the best paint on the planet. In the end, you'll save time, effort, and money because Benjamin Moore paints cover beautifully in less coats. So the next time you pick up a brush, remember, big box, big mistake. Because paint ain't paint. To get the best, you gotta go to Helm. Let us steer you right.
Helm Paint. Supply.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Tired of cleaning your gutters? Improve the value and look of your home with Leaf Guard gutters, and you'll never have to clean your gutters again, ever. I guarantee it. Let Audubon Gutters install Leaf Guard gutters today. You'll improve the look and value of your home, and right now is the perfect time during Audubon Gutters 99-cent installation sale. Call 469-6494 now. Get out of that gutter and get on the phone. Get Audubon Gutters.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes a magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Yeah, you're right. What are you laughing at, Miss Peaches? When I'm having a bad round on the golf course, I'll look at my buddies and go, hey, guys, my mommy's going to come pick me up in the station wagon after 9. I'm going home. Okay, my mommy come pick me up. They're like, dude, you drove here yourself. You're an adult. Your mom doesn't drive a station wagon. Station wagons are coming back, Miss Peaches. I see a lot of station wagons out there, BMW, Mercedes-Benz. I saw a Volvo station wagon yesterday. Good looking. Station wagons are on the comeback. I want the ones with the wood paneling on the side. That the country squire look. Yep, the country squire. Oh, wow. Anyway, yeah, we normally go till 6 o'clock. But because I'm a little cross and cranky, we're winding down the show right now because my mommy is out back picking me up in the station wagon. And that's that. So have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Oh, we're still here, Miss Peaches. And my mommy doesn't own a station wagon and isn't out back coming to pick me up. My mom does still drive, Miss Peaches. She's 94 years old. I renewed her license with her over there, the old Troop B, about 2 months ago. I asked the lady, what's the oldest person you've ever given a license to? She said 92. I said, you got a new record now. My mom's 94. And my mom just giggled. And then I was like, when's this license expire? She said 6 years. I said, so a week before my mom turns 100, that's when her license expires? They're like, yep. So literally her license expires at 99 years old and 51 weeks. Love it. Yep, right before she's 100. She passed with flying colors. No, she drives well. Yeah. Plays bridge with her pals. Okay. What's Sudoku or what's she does that? Yeah, she's trying to keep the mind working right. Yes. And you know, I'm on her all the time, so good. Yep. She still pushes broccoli on me like when we eat somewhere and I don't like broccoli. I'm like, Mom, you know, you've been pushing this for literally half a century. I don't like broccoli. That's what she says. Then I give her the broccoli and she's very happy about it. And then gets all upset that I don't eat broccoli. I don't like broccoli. What can I tell you? Anyway, no, my mom will give me crap tomorrow. Somebody said you were talking about me on the program and gave my age out, which I did not say. She was 94 on the air.
I agree with her. I'd give you grief.
She says, she used to say 29, then went up to 39. Now she uses the reciprocal. She says 49. And I'm like, no, it's 94, not 49. Uh-oh. Anyway, that math doesn't work because I'm older than 49. So that's not mathematically possible. Anyway, yeah, thank God I'm lucky. Lucky to have my mom at 94 years old. Lucky for her to be mentally and physically there. Lucky that she still drives and I got 2 older brothers and 2 older sisters. We would be yanking her off the road so quick it'd make your head spin. And I laugh sometimes, Miss Peaches. I don't know if it's just my family and other families, whatever, but like when they're like, oh no, we can't take the car away from dad or mom. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? You got kids, you take the car away from them. No, they won't let us. No, what do you mean? Like my mom doesn't have any say in this anymore. It's 5 against 1, you know? So, no, if she couldn't drive or we saw where like, boy, she's a danger, we'd yank her off the road immediately. But she's not. She drives really well. She drives better than most people drive in Metro New Orleans. I mean, well, I guess that's saying a lot. Maybe that's saying a little. A lot of bad drivers in Metro New Orleans. I think there are a lot of terrible drivers. Driving in the left lane, no right on red, don't turn right on red. It's like right on red's legal. Turn right on red. Driving in the left lane. I mentioned that. Driving with hazard lights on when it's raining.
Well, she's driving better than most. Yeah.
She's better than most.
Then she's doing real good.
Yeah, she is. I was just saying when you're like that, when I said better than most, you're like, that's a good thing. I was like, maybe not because there's such crappy drivers in New Orleans.
I was thinking on that level, but I got what you're saying. Yeah. No, not so much.
No, yeah. You're just happy that 94-year-old can drive safely. No, it's pretty amazing. And she's pretty good at bridge. She wins big money. Sometimes it's like $1.90, $3.20. Big cash money. Yep. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. LSU baseball beats UCLA. They played last night, but then there was a rain delay, which turned into a postponed game. And they resumed play this morning at 10 a.m., finishing up around 12:30 right after lunch. LSU baseball beats UCLA 9-5, sending UCLA into the losers bracket. UCLA and Arkansas are playing right now or are about to play. The loser is done. They're eliminated. The winner advances to play LSU tomorrow night. But they've got to beat LSU twice. LSU, 1 win away. They play Arkansas or UCLA tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. They're 1 win away from going to Saturday's best-of-3 championship round for the national championship. So 1 win away from the championship round, best-of-3. And LSU, they can afford a loss. The winner of Arkansas, UCLA, has to beat LSU twice to go to that championship round because they've got a loss in this double elimination tournament where LSU is undefeated. On the other side of the bracket, shockingly, I shouldn't say shockingly, they won the national title a few years ago. Coastal Carolina is undefeated. So right now it would be LSU Coastal Carolina this weekend, but a lot of baseball left to play, including LSU having to play Arkansas maybe for a 3rd time, 6th time overall. 6th time overall. Well, no, I'm sorry. It would be a 2nd time in the tournament. If Arkansas were to win, they would play them a 6th time. So just crazy. So a lot of baseball left, but LSU, where you want to be. Winner's bracket, undefeated. Check out social media. I reposted it. Blake Miguez's commercial. He's going after Bill Cassidy's U.S. Senate seat. And his commercial has him shooting a pistol and then shooting an AR-15. I just don't get that. I do get it. I shouldn't say that. He knows what we all know. The hardcore evangelical wacky right-wingers eat that stuff up. The extreme Republicans like that. Regular mainstream conservatives are like, why is he shooting a gun? They're liberal things that the liberals throw out there to get their base salivating, the loony left, the woke. But this Blake Miguez spot is worth watching because he's throwing paint cans in the air and shooting them. But it's 2 camera shots. The first shot is him with the pistol, throwing the can in the air and other hand with the pistol. And then the second camera shot is the can up in the air blowing up. I told you the Long brothers, that skeet flies up in the air, they're shooting with the pistol, all in one camera shot. Did Blake Miguez shoot those paint cans, or did someone else? You can't tell. Anyway, the commercial's weird because it's like a gun commercial for politics, but hardcore folks like that stuff. Blue Boy, what are you saying? Me no comprende. You're right. I don't understand it either, boy.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.